advise you to get off the streets as quickly as possible. It'll soon be a war up there.
And we are, as a people, opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths.
I know for a fact.
And to secret proceedings.
Weapons of mass destruction.
I have a dream.
I take the threat very seriously.
A new world order.
Your government thanks you for your participation.
You are now listening to the world-famous Sofa King podcast.
Please, read from sheets. I am Sofa King.
Sofa King.
Now repeat all very fast, please.
I am Sofa King.
Faster.
I am Sofa King.
No, not so fast. Loses meaning.
I am Sofa King retard.
You say funny thing.
Man, I really hit that bell. I found, after all this time, I found the sweet spot on that thing.
Did you?
Yeah, that was a solid just ding.
It is so loud when you don't have the headphones
No,
on.
it's fucking crazy loud.
So loud.
Yeah. When my ear was fucked up, I wasn't having the headphones on. I hit that thing, and I was like, oh my God, this motherfucker is loud. I was smelling the whiskey that Albert Fish sent us, and I dripped some on the table, and it has a cigar, like kind of a tobacco-y scent on my skin anyway.
Oh, it does have a tobacco-y scent.
Yeah, it's kind of a...
For sure. Like it smells like a humidor.
Like an after smell, like tobacco-y scent.
For sure.
Yeah.
So this is what's it called? What's the name of it?
Oregon Spirit.
Oregon Spirit.
Bourbon.
Straight bourbon whiskey.
Cool sent
bottle.
to us by Brian and Kathy Fish. They sent that to us for the show, and then they sent me a bottle for my birthday.
Dave's dying.
Cough is coming back.
The third recording for the week, and Dave's
it's taking its toll. But they gave me the ghost owl.
Yeah, Ghost Owl.
Ghost owl. So I'll post it on social media when I try it, but we want to thank them for it. We're going to give it a taste. Hopefully it knocks the boogers out of my throat.
My birthday passed too not that long ago. I didn't get anything. It's cool. It's cool though.
Lots of flavor going on there.
Wow.
That's really good. I wonder
Right
what
up front, like the instant it hits your tongue, it's just flavor part. Oh, wow.
How many
It's
years
still
do you
gone.
think this is?
It's probably 12.
I wouldn't even hazard a guess.
I'm not going to tell you. Let's go with the price.
Man, that is so nice.
What is it? You don't know?
It's 4.
Oh, 4?
Yeah.
Anything 12 and under is kind of similar until it gets to like the 1 and 2 years. Like,
It's fucking good, man.
it's I mean,
is
I
so
would
flavorful.
I said, yeah, it is very flavorful. Has a punch.
Not
to
hot
it.
at all.
No, mine's got
But
a little
just
tongue.
strong. Then that
Mine's got a
tobacco
little tongue.
flavor is there.
It is there.
Like a cigar.
The aftertaste, you do get a tobacco-y flavor. So if you don't like tobacco, that might not be the one for you.
Or if you quit smoking a while back, that might not be the one for you either.
Might be a trigger. You fucking just whiskey and a ciggy. What's it? A whiskey and a fag?
Yeah.
For the Robots for Gays podcast.
Dragging
Whatever
a
the
fag.
guys. Robots for Guys. Is that what that podcast is called?
For eyes.
The Robots for Guys.
Robots for guys are sex robots, yeah.
Yeah, they're sex robots. And they have a British accent too, which everybody finds the British accent sexy. They have a woman on their podcast.
They do?
Yeah, she's a dude too.
Mm-hmm. You can tell by her Adam's apple.
Yeah, huge Adam's apple.
Her name's Hanna-Barbera.
Dude look like a lady. If my throat wasn't jacked, I would have sang it for you.
I don't know. There's conflicting things here. One thing said this was like $40. One of it said it was like $100. But
I mean, depends on.
I mean, I guess if it's available somewhere for $40, then it's $40. But that shit
Depends
is
on your
good.
geography. No,
Really
it does
cool
have a
bottle,
lot of
man.
flavors.
Super cool
Yeah,
bottle.
really.
I'd be
interesting.
surprised to find that for $40.
Yeah, it does have. I mean, yeah, that tobacco hint is there though.
It's
really
definitely
is.
there.
Oh, did you write Kathy in Sharpie, or was that already on there?
I wrote it on there.
Oh yeah, so I need to make a new label.
Yeah,
I can't have this handwritten.
Yeah, it's Kathy and Albert Fish.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's very good. Our primary sponsor, of course, is El Yucateco hot sauce.
It's also very good.
I had an El Yucateco encounter this morning. So I had chili, which I'm assuming is really good chili because I think it's good chili and I normally don't like chili.
Yeah, Dave told me he went to play D&D. He said they made vegan stuff for him, and he's like, and I was kind of fucking pissed, I think is what you said.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, dang, they like fucked up or they didn't make it good. He's like, because it was so good that he was jealous that he
That wasn't the
didn't make
chili.
it.
It's actually
Oh,
2
that was
weeks
a
in a row.
shepherd's pie or something.
Yeah, the vegan shepherd's pie was what blew my mind. I was like, this is like so much better than my vegan shepherd's pie.
It was just regular shepherd's pie. That's why.
The only downside is though it didn't hold up. Like the next day when I heated it
wasn't
up,
good.
it was like,
Well,
it was
that's the
half
trade-off.
as good.
That's
It
the
was-
trade-off,
Yeah,
though. You know what I mean?
Sometimes stuff's better the next day.
Yeah.
It was half as good the next day.
Spaghetti's always better.
I was gonna say spaghetti, chili,
Yep.
yeah.
Spaghetti's always better. Chili's really good. Yeah, if it marinates.
Enchiladas.
Like chili, macaroni salad, potato salad, like usually
it's got
better
the
the next
flavors
day.
gotta
Yeah.
marry.
Man, I really want some potatoes. You know what? My for Father's Day, my brother-in-law's, my sister-in-law, I guess, her dad, he makes some good stuff. Like sometimes it's like kind of different, but like it's like, oh, you're like, oh, it's kind of good. Like I wouldn't normally eat that, but it's good. And he makes like a banana pudding, and it's different. Like the banana, like he makes, it's like homemade banana pudding, and it's fucking good. And I'm picky about it. You know what I mean? I'm picky about banana pudding and banana pies, banana cream
You guys
pies.
have Nilla wafers in there?
Yeah, no, he uses these like these cookies that are like alphabet cookies. Like they have like a letters on them, and they're like shortbread cookies. It's fucking good, man. Like he does a good job on it. And it almost tastes like the banana, like the pudding has like
Might be those Trader Joe's ones.
maybe, yeah. And it tastes like it has like a cream cheese in it. Like it's just different.
okay.
Like it's just different. I don't know if that's what it is, or he uses he's diabetic, so he uses a non-sugar sugar.
Splenda, yeah.
So he uses something
Right.
in there that makes it taste a little different, but it tastes really good.
You know where there's some good cookies? I know you're going to say garbage, but like, you know, like British cookies and shit, like those ones that come in the big weird log pack,
Yeah.
or whatever, and they're like wide, big, dry
Yeah.
cookies. The 99-cent only has a whole fucking crazy section of those fucking cookies.
I like
A bunch
Danish
of weird
cookies, dude.
ones. Oh,
I like
the ones
Danish
in a
cookies in
can?
the tins. Oh my God,
Fuck yeah,
man.
those
Those are
butter
good.
cookies with
Fuck yeah,
salt on them.
Danish
and shit.
butter cookies with sugar on
Yeah.
them. Not salt, but yeah.
No, I think some
Those are
have
good.
salt on them too.
Maybe.
Yeah. Salt
And
on a
then
cookie
and
is
Belgian
good.
the Belgian chocolate shells that you get the
I never had that.
Gilliams. Oh my God. But anyway, he
Here we
made
are
a
talking about food again.
yeah, well, we're
Always.
talking about it's how you take a hot sauce, and
know,
he made
Belgian
a
cookies and
he made a
everything. Yeah,
macaroni.
quite good.
He made an elbow macaroni salad that had like red onion in it, pickle, and egg and macaroni, obviously mayonnaise and whatever. But I normally don't like a sweet potato
I do
salad or
not
macaroni
like
salad.
sweet,
Yeah,
no.
Like you like my macaroni salad.
do, it was
yeah.
good.
But it's like a savory. I put pickle juice in it. You know, like
Yeah.
it's more of a savory. It doesn't have relish or anything. This one was kind of sweet, but the onions made it spicy. And then he had like pepper and stuff. And it was actually fucking like,
That's
I was
what I
like,
do- that's
I
what
was
I do with
eating
my potato
myself.
salad.
I was eating it and I was like, I wouldn't normally like this, but this is actually really good.
Much like the original recipe, I put white pepper in my potato
yeah.
salad to
Yeah,
raise
yeah,
the
yeah.
heat level.
Yeah.
But then I put sweet pickles and like red onions to
Yeah,
kind
see,
of
and I don't
balance.
like sweet pickles in it.
But
yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
The sweetness with
the sweet and the red
but
onion, I think, is a big
The other
thing.
weird hack that I learned is there's a place called Country Club Liquor and Deli right up by my house.
Yeah.
And they make really good potato salad. And it's really different. It's really creamy and weird, but it doesn't feel all fatty and like
Yeah.
full of mayo. And I watched them making it one day and I saw that they took the potatoes and they poured out like a third of the potatoes into a separate bowl. And they took a potato masher and mashed them.
Oh, yeah.
potato was the-
it's
then
mashed
they,
potato
and
salad.
then they poured
Yeah.
that part of the mashed potatoes
My-
in, and then you hardly need any mayo, and it's like so good that way.
Yeah,
You
my
can eat it? You can have that?
potato salad, yeah.
It's got mayo in it, though. There's a,
Yeah, just get vegan mayo.
but they're making it, though.
Oh, back in the day, but,
Oh, okay.
but now that's how I make my potato salad.
Yeah, my
and it's
wife
really
actually
good.
makes it. She calls it mashed potato salad.
It's good, man.
because she makes it that way.
It just
Like
changes
some
the
of
cons-
the.
it just
She kind of
ups the consistency
overcooks.
game.
She almost overcooks the potatoes, so when she stirs it all together, it kind of mashes it. Like, and so yeah, it is like
See, I actually dump.
It's almost like loaded mashed potatoes, but it's like it's potato salad though.
because I
So-
dump 2/3 out when they're like super al dente.
Yeah,
And they've still got a lot of bite to them.
you throw them on the wall and, they
and
stick.
then I let the rest of them cook, and those are the ones that I mash.
Mm.
But regardless of all of this, El Yucateco, I
We'll
made
make all
chili.
those better.
I heated up chili. I was eating chili for breakfast, and I put my El Yucateco in it, put it in the microwave, heated it up, took it out. Bowl was super hot, but it didn't look hot. Didn't trust it. It was like one of those bowl.
It's usually not. The
illusions.
bowl's hot as fuck.
I was like, what's going on? So then I stuck my finger in and I was like, no, the chili's still like way cold. And then put it back in the microwave.
We're not even talking about chili anymore.
Put it back in the microwave and
Vincent,
licked.
poor Vincent.
I licked the chili. I licked the chili off my finger to discover that like 85% of the El Yucateco that I just put in a
Was on
bowl
your
of chili
finger?
was
Went right
on my
there,
finger, and it fucking woke me up.
I always
it was like a second cup of
I
coffee.
always put the tech one later. Yeah.
I usually put it on, stir it, and then cook it so it's mixed in.
I don't say
did not cook it. It all
Triple
ended
X
up on
on
my
potato
finger.
salad is fucking
I bet you it's
good.
good, yeah.
That is
That
such a good
sounds
pairing.
good.
Yeah. Man, I love potato salad. Can I still have potato salad? Oh, man, yeah, I can. I'm lacto-ovo. I'm calling it right now for now because I want potato salad still.
My batch of I got one more serving left out of my
What's your vegan mayo?
Potatoes.
Like, did you make it? Or someone was talking about
No,
that
it's
silken
called
fucking
Vimeo.
tofu.
best foods.
Best foods. Which one?
Vegan mayo.
Vegan mayo.
And they sell it at Albertsons?
Yep,
I'm going to check it out.
it's fucking good.
I'm hungry as fuck right now.
And of course, we always do our Patreon shout out. If you're a patron for as little as $1, you get our bonus episodes every week. This week we did a deep dive on a discussion of what the soul is and whether or not we have them, as well as other more foolish questions. But instead of shouting out people, we're doing something for the remainder of this month where we're talking to people who are patrons who are close to being Sculpt
Yeah.
Member of the Month.
Giving
But
them tips.
we're giving them tips on why you aren't quite there yet.
Yeah.
Hoping that they'll strive and get there.
Yeah.
So at the end of the episode, we're going to give out a couple of more
We're
bits of
offering
advice.
free coaching.
Free
is what's
coaching.
happening,
So
yeah.
even if you're not one of the ones on the list, like if you're thinking I'd like to be Sculpt Member of the Month, you definitely want to listen to the end because we're going to talk to several people and say this is why you didn't quite
Yeah.
make it yet. Keep applying.
And reasons why you would want to be Sculpt Member of the Month. I mean, you can get your story out there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's
yeah.
inspirational
Yep.
to others to have that story out there.
Yep.
Your struggles and your accomplishments.
For sure.
You know.
It's a segment we call low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah. AKA the danger fields.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, we are a member of the Podbelly Podcast Network. Go there to find some really cool podcasts, some tips and tricks on podcasts to get the word out about your podcast. And that's podbelly.com. So go stick it in your ear hole.
You got to keep your hands like that because someone said if your nipples get hard on the live, they're blasting Prince all night. Just something on the live feed.
That's not his problem.
It's cold behind you, though. I don't know. It could happen.
It's not his
It could
problem.
happen, bro.
Yeah, just based on that, I'm moving my arm. Everything about that
Just
proposition
sounded
is
wrong.
weird. Yeah.
Well, now they're blasting Prince all night.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just remember, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And my hand is touching your left breast.
I think that I'd be susceptible to hypnotism because every time Brad says take a deep
feel
breath
that?
in his calming voice, I get a little like chilled out.
Do you go in through your nose, out through your butt?
I do, I think.
Yeah.
I felt it.
You can
Part of
release.
Good thing my
yeah,
farts
part of
don't
the
stink,
release.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last week,
I have a quick question, though. If you're standing up and pissing and you fart, does your piss stream stop?
No. I think it's something you do as you get older.
too many factors.
It might be. Because like my piss stops for a second. It pauses.
Oh, you got to change. You got to change over.
Yeah, if I'm peeing and I fart, it pauses just for a second. I was just curious if it was just me. It's like, and it goes again. Like, I don't know if is that a prostate problem or is it just like, is that normal?
I think you're
too
just
many
focusing.
I need you to fart when you piss when you get home tonight.
I don't stop.
You gotta push
stream.
one out.
There's no stop stream.
No?
No.
When you fart, you think it keeps going?
Mine blasts out a little harder.
No, sometimes it does.
Increases the volume?
Yeah, it increases.
No, I think it comes
changes
back with
pressure.
a vigor. Yeah. Like
No,
there's an
mine never
adjustment.
stops though.
No?
It's just, yeah.
Maybe I got a problem. I don't know.
No, I don't think you have a
Mine-
problem. I think
it's-
everybody's just different.
I think it's like an obscure level in the old video game Myst where you had to like
Myst.
adjust the pressure of pipes to unlock a lock. I think it's just all a matter of pressure. Sometimes there's enough pressure that the toot gas accelerates.
Yeah. I mean, you might be a little tighter that day. You weren't
Right.
doing, and a little looser the next. You weren't doing your Kegels.
Yeah. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So a couple episodes ago, we talked about Tina Turner. And in so doing, we ran into Phil Spector, who was her music producer
Marvel.
early on. And we ran into the fantastic Hair Bear photo. We had to talk about it. Phil Spector has actually been on the topics list a couple of times in the past because I think the true crime people want to talk about his the murder he committed and so forth.
Allegedly.
No, there's no allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
No,
you're innocent until proven guilty.
Well, he was proven guilty.
Well, in a court of law, though.
In a court of law.
I mean, is it against the law?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Not in all countries.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not in all countries.
So we can agree to agree.
Yeah, we can agree to agree.
All right.
I accept your apology.
Yeah, I didn't apologize.
Okay.
There's a whole Reddit about farting and peeing at the same time.
I wondered where
It's
you
kind of
went.
half and
We've been
half.
like you asked the question about farting and peeing. We were answering, and you just completely checked out.
I was trying to figure out. Someone said it turns into turbo. The other person said it stops.
No, I was. You missed a beautiful analogy to the old video game Myst, where I said that exact thing.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see what the world knew.
Not a whole lot.
It's on record. I can listen.
No,
to that.
that's true. Everything the world knew is what we just said.
That's on record too.
Yeah,
everything's on record.
Yeah.
I heard it in the court of law. That's what I heard.
And then you heard
is it illegal?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I accepted his apology.
But is it against the law?
Is it against the law?
Please take your seat, sir.
So
that's so good.
The greatest skit ever.
No, it's not the greatest ever, but it is good.
It is good.
The
dude.
substitutes
when
good,
he bounces off the ceiling and all that shit.
Yeah, no, the substitutes. That's classic, man.
Key and Peele.
Yeah,
no, the substitute to me, the substitute and
the slave.
Well, speaking of the substitute, when he farts, he's trying to write his name on the chalkboard.
That's the second one. I don't find that one as funny.
It's so
or the
short.
third one.
No, it's like short and sweet.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful fucking thing.
But to
He's
me,
like, my name. He's a. He's like, laugh him out.
The substitute is number one, and the first of their football names.
I'm not into the football name one.
Fuck, dude, it's so funny.
I get it and it's funny, but I like the one where he's talking shit about the wives where they look around and get. I was like,
I said, and then in space, yeah,
ends up in space outside the
And I
window.
said, yeah, no,
that woman in the
so
window of
funny.
her soul.
Yeah.
So
So, Phil Spector. So this podcast will be one part musical genius and one part true crime murder, I suppose, because that's kind of the way it goes. And there's even when he finally got convicted of murder. It was really
this guy
interesting.
goes on a downhill slope.
He
Of
sure the
looks,
fuck
too.
does.
Oh my god!
It was really interesting because there were so many musicians and celebrities who were tweeting, and they were like, you could tell they were so conflicted.
Oh yeah,
they're like, it's too bad he killed someone, but he sure was a fucking genius.
Yeah.
That murderer, like everybody.
Yeah, they said like something good and something bad.
You know what
yeah.
no one brought up was his head injury. He had a crazy traumatic head injury.
Yeah.
But he did have a record of pulling guns out and sticking it in people's faces and shit all
Before
the
the head injury.
Yeah, before the head injury. But it's like, man, just there's so many variables against that guy. Like being a millionaire at like age 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then you go on the ugly
celebrity-
stick, the ugly stick of slippery fucking slip and slide fucking uglies.
Yeah, and then going from
having
being
having a number one hit in the nation when you're in fucking high school.
As I was saying, like having pussy thrown at him for his entirety of his life, and then turning into fucking Hoggle at some point. He looked like Hoggle Chino.
He's like the male Taylor Swift.
Kinda.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, and then for it to go away, and he has to wear wigs and shit, and he just looks fucking like
it's a weird, bad
it's rough.
downhill
He's like a
slope,
character from the Labyrinth, and then
he looks like fucking what's the brother from Step Brothers? Not Will Ferrell, the other fool. Fucking the crazy fool when he's the professor when he does the skit.
Stephen Brule.
Yeah, Stephen Brule.
Yeah.
You know when he's doing the scientist, the fucking yeah.
So
Sweet berry wine.
I kept reading that he was considered one of the most influential people in all of musical history.
Which that's
I watched an interview with him. He was like, Buddy Holly got a stamp. He's like, Buddy Holly was like in rock and roll for 3 years. He's like, I don't want a stamp. He's like, but I think things should be weighed and acknowledged, like proportionately.
Right.
So he knew that, like, man, like I deserve more credit than I get. Like, a lot of people don't know who the fuck he is. People know who Buddy Holly is.
For sure.
You know, people know who Richie Valens is. And it's like, oh, you died in a
Well, he's
plane
the
crash.
man behind. You know,
All
he's
those-
kind of the Jimmy Iovine. You know what I mean?
For
These
sure.
guys that are
100%.
that are behind all these huge stars,
100%.
but they wouldn't be who they are
Right.
without that guy.
But,
you know?
and I mean,
he's like the mom of the music
Who would
industry.
have thought
you
there
know?
was like fucking rotten, wrecked, garbage Beatle fucking tracks?
Yeah.
That Let It Be became
what it was.
What it was. Let It Be.
And again, the big difference between him and Jimmy Iovine is that whenever you see anyone talk about Jimmy Iovine, they're like, that's my homeboy. Like, he changed my life.
Right.
He's a different guy.
He's my daughter's godfather.
Yeah,
like all the, and then everybody
He's a
talks
good
about
guy.
Phil Spector.
Yeah.
They're like, he did a great job on that album, but I would never work with that crazy son
He's
of
a
a bitch
fucking
again in my
crazy
life.
motherfucker,
Like,
yeah.
you know.
But we had to
Different
crawl
guy.
in through the roof and give him 18 cherry brandy.
But
to get him
it's one of those things though that like he's so crazy. It's probably why
He's so good.
he's so good.
For sure.
Because if he was just some normal guy, it wouldn't be that way. You know.
And the thing is, I had only heard this term, like in studying literature, there's a term called an auteur, which is usually used for film. So it's like everyone who directs a movie is not called an auteur, but someone like Quentin Tarantino or Alfred Hitchcock who writes the script, directs the movie, produces it, does the casting, edits it, does the cinematography. Like when they're
Sandler.
controlled in technically, but they're involved in every single aspect that most directors are like, no, I hired the best editor in the business and I hired the best, like I got the best fashion
the
designer.
wardrobe people, and makeup, and
But every so often they'll elevate someone to the level of auteur and they're like, he did all of it from pre-production to post. It was their baby and it always is.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've ever seen that term applied to a
music guy?
producer. Because they were like, for a lot of the songs, he wrote the lyrics, he wrote the song, he arranged the score, he ran the board, he
I don't know
rigged
about
the
Righteous
microphone.
Brothers. Righteous Brothers was
Yeah,
I was
man.
like, Unchained Melody, you
Yep,
lost
that's
that love and
his.
feeling? Holy
That's
fucking
his.
shit.
That's his shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Righteous Brothers are crazy too, because you think
Yeah,
that's
they
two
kinda
brothers
are.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like you hear that, and that's two black guys, and
Yeah.
you see it, and you're like, whoa, those
Right.
dudes got crazy voices.
Yeah, well, the name doesn't
They're
hurt.
a big part of it too. Yeah, the Righteous Brothers.
you know,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Their
Yeah.
voices are crazy though.
Yeah, two Mexican guys. Who would have thought?
Exactly, dude.
Well, I mean, it's
I would've never thought the
fucking-
one guy
it's-
was Asian, though.
It's the Rick roll. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
fucking Rick
Yeah.
roll, fucking
Fuck, dude.
white, fucking
Yeah.
redheaded guy.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's like, "What the fuck?" Like, if you watch the behind the music on that guy, it's
Yeah.
all the reactions of like
Yeah.
when they talk about first seeing the video and stuff. Like, people are just like, "Holy shit!" Like,
No stranger to love.
He's a trip. He was on Graham Norton and they were asking him about Rick rolling and he said that he didn't. He said, yeah, apparently it was a thing for a couple of years and like my daughter told me about it and like I didn't even believe it. I was like, there's no way.
It's
That's
still,
funny,
it's still
dude.
a way.
Yeah, it's still a thing. Yeah,
And it's still funny every single
Yeah.
time it happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely.
Yeah.
The internet
classic.
is amazing.
It is amazing.
Well,
The internet wins again. Just
yeah,
like
the internet always wins.
Yeah.
The internet's undefeated.
it is the best. It is the best of the best of us and
It's
the best of the
it's
worst of us.
fantastic. Yeah.
And the worst of the worst of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's everything.
It's everything.
It's pretty much God. If
Yeah.
you think about it.
Pretty
it's
much,
omnipotent
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's fucking and it's everything.
So
Isn't that scary?
It is.
he was born Harvey Philip Spector on December 26th, 1939. His parents were a first generation immigrant family in the Bronx. I didn't see much on this, but one thing I read in one of the biographies of him was that there was something about the way their names were listed on their paperwork coming through Ellis Island that strongly suggested that they were first cousins
You can tell the
and that
distance
they
between his eyes, too,
were
though.
married as first cousins. And
that
apparently
might have been-
some historians uncovered something in the documentation, maybe
Yeah,
about
but,
relatives
I mean-
that came over as well. Or
I think you're good on the
something, but-
first round. I think it takes a couple rounds.
Takes
for
a
that to really
couple
set in,
rounds,
Yeah.
yeah.
First cousins is fine the
Like if
first
they're
time.
third cousins,
No, if you're first cousins that first time,
You're good.
Yeah, it's like concentrate.
But
It
if you're
gets-
first cousins like the fourth or fifth time,
if
you
it keeps
got
happening,
worries.
it's like you get
yeah.
these fucking factors where it's
yeah.
like, oh, your kidneys.
well,
are
and it
gonna
might
fall
be
out.
wherever they're from. That might have been kind of
The thing,
normal. I
yeah,
mean, that might
yeah.
not have been
For
for
sure.
many people
Your
in
eye
the
just
village.
gets closer and closer together, just a little bit closer,
or farther apart too. It gets
That's
like,
true. That's
like
another
outward.
factor.
You look
Yeah,
like the
that's
bad
another
guy at the end of Tron.
Yeah. They call you the chameleon.
I see people that look
Yeah.
like that
Yeah,
sometimes,
I do
and I think
too,
about them like,
yeah.
oh, they look like the bad guy from Tron.
the MCP
the fucking
cone.
thing where his eyes are too far.
Yeah. That's
The
funny.
master control program.
What were they? Were they Jewish or what were they?
They were Jewish immigrants. And I think they might have been from Russia. I think you normally, because it said that they anglicized the spelling of Spectre and I've seen Spector as a Russian name, and it's spelled Spektor, kind of like the singer Regina Spektor. Like she's Russian, and that's her
Spector's a crazy
last
word.
name.
It sounds like Russian or a ghost.
Right, it is one or the other. Yeah. But when he was 9 years old, his father committed suicide. They moved to L.A.
It was his fault, for the record.
Yeah. He
Might have killed him.
Went to when he was in high school, he learned how to play the guitar and he started writing songs, which again, who didn't?
Yeah, he wrote Billie Jean.
Pick millions of people who did that very thing. But at some point, he met a record producer named Stan Ross, who was co-owner of a place called Gold Star Studios in Hollywood. And while he was still in high school, he started to mentor Spector and show him like the production back end of how to do music. So
all the behind the scenes work. Yeah.
Right. So I think that was a huge factor in his life. Obviously, I mean, most people are trying to, be the guy that sings at the dance, and he was like learning.
Stan Ross was probably Jewish, and he saw him walking by with a guitar case and had like a superb Jufro.
Yeah.
He was like, I like the Jufro on that kid. Come over here real quick.
Yeah.
Or he heard him sing, and he's like, "Oh, check this out. Let me show you how to work the boards, kid."
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? Like,
But so he starts to learn production in high school from a producer. He meets a couple of fellow students who, again, it's a big Jewish thing going on. It's
Harvey
Marshall
Goldstein,
Leib,
yeah.
Harvey Goldstein, and Annette
Harvey
Kleinbard.
Goldstein, McMoney Grubber.
Yeah. So they created a music group called the Teddy Bears.
Oh man,
yeah, pretty awful.
It's a song Like,
it's a song when you hear it, you know the song. To know him is to love him.
By the Teddy Bears?
By the Teddy Bears.
I didn't know it was called by the Teddy Bears. You know that song though. If
when you hear it, you'll be like, "Oh, I've heard that before."
Okay.
I looked up every song as I was going through all this shit.
I trust you.
If nothing else, it was on a fucking K jewelry commercial for a year.
Yeah, because you know what though, I hear songs like from Vietnam War era. The fucking the Black Sun and the fucking, you know what I mean.
Right.
But the name of the song is like some weird abstract fucking like name by this weird fucking band that you never even thought you knew.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, I know fucking a lot of their songs.
Yeah.
It's just some weird fucking band. Like,
It's pretty wild, like the harmonies, the vocal harmonies that they would do for this style of music back then.
I watched that live performance.
Yeah, two guys and a girl and just one guitar, I think, right?
Yep.
And you're just like, damn, all that? But it might be his.
It was him. It was Phil Spector on guitar, and I don't know, he was doing like the middle range backup, and then there was a taller guy that was doing like the bass backup singing.
And they're just
then
like,
there was the woman just singing.
They're just saying shit like that. You know what I mean? And she's singing, and they're doing little accompaniment. It's like, man, I want to hear
like
those
old school doo-wop,
isolated tracks where they're just like, da, da, da.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're just doing that. That's all. It's a trip.
Yeah. Some Boys to Men. I
it's
mean,
a
they're
note,
original
it's a
Boys
note,
to Men, you know?
Doom, 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 da, da,
So
doom, doom, da, 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 da. Yeah. That was pretty good.
No,
it wasn't.
So the name of the song was taken off of the inscription on Spector's grave, on the father's grave. But so it reached number one on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart on December 1st, 1958.
That's pretty big. Yeah.
Sold 1 million copies by year's end. The chart was brand new, so it was only the seventh time a song. It was the seventh number one hit ever.
Damn.
And
Pioneers.
So he's what, 19?
Yeah.
No, he's 17.
17.
He wrote the song. I think he produced the song when he's fucking 17. Number one Billboard hit. Millions of dollars. And their next single, this right here, by the way, is a summary of the entire story. Like the Teddy Bears are the life of Phil Spector. So he meets some producers. He produces the Teddy Bears song. It's number one. And then the second song is number 91. And he gets depressed and becomes reclusive.
Yeah.
Like rinse, lather, repeat. Like
every fucking band. Yeah.
It's like that number one hit that he hit when he was 17. It's like every single time he produces something from this point on,
it has to be a number one.
When it's not like at least in the top 5, it like fucks him up and he fucking goes into a spiral.
So I was saying so early on to hit the number one, like you're just falling.
Right.
I mean, everything is below.
Everything is down.
Nothing's as good as you did.
Yeah.
At first.
So he works in LA.
Yeah, you'll never get that high again, like
No.
yeah. Even if you get another number one, it's not that
It's
same
not
high.
that. It's not. I'm 17. and this was
1950s poodle pussy again. You know what I mean?
exactly. Dude.
Yeah. Or checking how hot the chili is.
Yeah. So he worked in LA.
Poor Vincent. That's all I can say.
I don't even know what's happening.
We do.
I think you missed it the first time.
He worked in LA, trying to do more music, but at the time, and it's probably still like this, he had to move to New York if he really wanted to break into the music business.
I don't know. Now I think LA.
Now
or
I
New
think
York.
it's
one or the
probably
other.
one or the other.
I think you can even
Or
do
the
it in
internet. You just
Houston.
go record
Yeah.
that shit and send
true.
it to him and drop it in my Google Drive.
And again, I think you can thank Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre for making West Coast studios really be a thing. I think rap really made.
Yeah, and that was 90s. I mean,
right, but even
80s,
but now
90s,
the studios are there and the labels
Yeah.
are there, and whether
Yeah.
it's rap or not, LA has a history of
Yeah,
it
because I
now.
guess LA was very movie Hollywood
sure.
at the time. Yeah, and it wasn't
and all
really
those little
music.
label, like if you went back to New York in the 60s or 70s, there were just 100 labels.
Yeah.
like in every other building.
Yeah, LA was movies and
Yeah.
and New York was music
Yeah.
specifically. Yeah.
So he ends up meeting a couple other producers, and he becomes a staff producer for a place called Dune Records. And while he's there, he just starts to knock out hits. He writes in 1960. So again, he's a fucking kid.
Yeah.
He writes a top 10 hit for Benny King. I thought it said BB King, for Benny King, called Spanish Harlem.
Which everyone knows that song too. That's like
Yeah.
a super popular song.
Twist and Shout, which was originally
heard of it.
recorded by the Top Notes, not the Beatles. He produced it. I don't know if he wrote it.
Later performed by Ferris Bueller. Most,
Right.
most
Yeah,
famously
yeah.
on
Most
the float
famous.
in the parade.
I know he produced it. I don't know if he wrote it. He produced Pretty Little Angel Eyes for Curtis Lee. All these like late 50s, early
Curtis
60s
Blow.
hits. Curtis Lee. Yeah, Pretty Little Angel.
Bunch of these I looked up and I did not know them.
The Crystals. There's No Other Like My Baby, top 20. Their song Uptown, number 13.
Uptown Funk You Up for
Yeah.
Robin Thicke.
That's right.
Yeah.
So by 21, he was a millionaire, and he had produced 20 consecutive top 20 hits. So he's just fucking number one with a bullet. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And this is before he innovated.
Yeah.
Like, this is when he's just doing what everybody else is
He's
doing.
just writing and producing.
But he's so good at scouting talent. He's so good at the production end of things that he just keeps like knocking it out of the park. He becomes a talent scout for a place called Liberty Records, and he created a record label of his own called Files Records.
That's weird.
Which was, it said that it was a mix of the first names of the owners. Oh, because Phil, for the Phil part of Files. And then,
yeah, because that's in there.
right. And I forget who his partner was.
One thing was like audio
Les,
file,
I
but
guess.
it's like
They're
files.
pedophiles, murder files.
Lester Still. It was him and Lester
Oh,
Still.
okay.
So Phil and Les is
Oh,
Files, I guess.
Wouldn't it still be Phil's?
Phil's. It was Philes.
Oh,
is
okay.
how
Oh,
it's
that's
spelled.
Oh, that's
Phyllis.
That's
Phi,
better.
it should be Phi Less, really.
It should be Phyllis.
Phyllis. It's Phyllis Records. There we
Yeah.
go.
But that sounds like an old lady.
Y'all feel this? Y'all feel this?
Yeah. So in 1962, Les leaves Phyllis, and it's just
Phi.
Phil. It's just Phi. And
Alphabet of Phi.
he signs the Ronettes, and they did a bunch of number one hits in the early 60s as well.
He marries the.
He ends up
lead.
marrying the lead singer, Veronica Burnett.
She was a blonde, ironically.
They all looked mixed. They all looked like they were like
He had a thing for
light-skinned.
he only did black groups. Like that was his thing
Like
for a
they
long
looked
time.
light-skinned,
He was
so,
about
yeah.
That's why you like that fro.
So he starts, and then in 1965, he works with the brothers, the Righteous Brothers, and
Righteous
he does
Brothers.
"You Lost That Love and Feeling" and "Unchained Melody." So again,
that love
like,
and feeling. That one?
Ronnie Spector.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Which one? Which one? Which one is it? Oh, the top one? Oh, yeah.
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 It's a little bit,
definitely
it's
mixed.
it's above his pay grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back then he was okay.
Yeah.
He became Hoggle.
He looked like a fucking evil wizard back then.
Ugly stick, slip, and slide.
Yeah.
Sticking with that one. That's what
he was still human, but he looked like a
He was still human.
ugly stick.
He was still human. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the point where he becomes a technological innovator. And I had to like look into this separately because everyone just said, and this is when he famously created the wall of sound technique. And then everyone just walked away from it. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, and I think I get it, even though I don't fully. I was trying to find examples. I was trying to find samples of someone doing something without it and then with it so I could hear the difference, but I couldn't find that out there. But
it was before like true multi-track recording. So like if you need, like right now you could just copy the violin track and, you know, tweak a little couple things on it and have 8 violins with the one violin track, and it gives you like a thicker, deeper sound.
Right. So
that motherfucker would bring in 44 microphones in an orchestra and really do it.
And the problem was he had a vision for what the songs needed to sound like, and he said if you were sitting in the studio listening to it, there was a richness to the music that never translated to the record.
microphones couldn't pick it up, the room noise.
And he said, but it wasn't just the microphones. He said the worst part of the technological chain was the recording devices, the delivery. No, it was either the fact that most people in the early 1960s, if you were listening to music, you were either listening on an AM radio station,
shit radio,
you were listening on a shitty jukebox in a fucking
mono,
or you were listening on some little crappy phonograph box. So no matter how good the record was recorded, you're listening on a piece of
music
shit.
on your iPhone.
Exactly.
Like it can only sound so good.
And he even said that the original masters of all the Beatles stuff was recorded in mono because they would record everything and then they would immediately go into the booth and want to listen to it because they would be like, I need to hear exactly what it's going to sound like when our fans listen to it, not when we play it live.
And try and record it the best you can in mono.
That environment.
That makes sense.
So he created what they called a roar. And there's a classical musician called Wagner, Nazi. And he was known for like big operas and like massive.
Fucking threw that in there.
He fucking was,
Nazi.
dude. He was a fucking Nazi. But,
why are you hating for him? Why are you hating?
I'm not. He has amazing. It's some of the only opera that I actually love and listen to is Wagner's operas. But they were a bit like the Looney Tunes where like Bugs Bunny sings about the spear and magic helmet. And he and Elmer Fudd do this whole opera routine in the old like Looney Tunes cartoon.
They're looking for the spear and like
that was them making fun of Wagner.
Right.
Like even the set and the costume, like when you see like the Viking lady singing opera, like that's all making fun of Wagner because he did like the Ring trilogy, which was the same like mythology that Tolkien was based on, like all this shit, very Aryan Nazi. But he had like this huge vibrant sound, and everybody started to say that Phil Spector.
Black people in The Hobbit or fucking any of that shit?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a black Hobbit somewhere.
There's not though.
I'm sure there was.
There's no black characters in that movie. In any of those movies.
Yeah, I think what we're coming down to is a really unfortunate situation where the orcs are sort of the equivalent of the.
Oh, you said the orcs, Dave. I didn't think anyone was going to say that. I thought you brought that up, but are
there monkeys in the?
Just the orcs, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. I think if there was a black character, it is some of those big bad mean ass orcs.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's too bad.
Yeah, that's a racist thing. I like those movies. God damn it.
Why is it racist?
Because
maybe there will be black people in the Amazon.
They only portrayed the black people as the
There's
evil,
no white
dark,
people in
overbearing
Tyler Perry
force
movies
trying to ruin society. Like it's like the game of pool. The white ball is trying to push all the color balls off the table, and ultimately to win the game, you have to drive the black ball off the table. It's a racist ass game of pool.
That's the easiest one.
Yeah, I like this. I'm fucking put my fist in the air.
Yeah.
That's from fucking not Clerks. I can't remember which. That's one of those fucking Kevin Smith movies.
Yeah.
So he creates this sound.
You can make racism out of everything.
Yeah, you can.
What about bowling pins where the black ball knocks the white pins down?
Mm-hmm.
some bullshit.
That's
It's just a
true.
reaction. But then, but then the machines
Trying to
grab the
keep 'em
ball.
down.
Yeah.
The machines grab the ball and
Put it
punish
right
them by
back
sending
where
them right back to the
where it
beginning
came from, yeah.
because they knocked
And
down
pick
all
the
the white
pins up.
pins. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the machine
It's
picks all the
perpetual.
pins up. Exactly. See, you just got to put the right spin on it.
That's funny.
So he creates this sound, and then like everybody from the Beach Boys to Springsteen later are like, "Fuck, we have to figure out what he's doing." But it's crazy, like what he does. So yeah, like Brent was saying, so he has a group of musicians called the Wrecking Crew that he would call in, and it's like, we need to play a guitar. So he would get like 6 guys on the same exact guitar, like the same exact sounding guitar, to play the same exact notes in unison. So that there was a
You got a stereoing effect probably
Kinda.
before they had stereo.
yeah. So there was a richness to the sound that
Yeah.
no one, and it even like some groups still record like this right now, even
Yeah.
when stereo, and even like you just want multiple of the same studio musician. So the Wrecking Crew would go in there and do this. But then the thing that was crazy was he would get all the speaker, he would record, he would get all the sound picked up on a microphone. And then the microphone would send the sound to a set of speakers in an echo chamber. So
That he
all
would
the
record.
speakers would
Reverb.
bounce in the echo chamber to get the reverb, and then there was a
They
microphone.
didn't have effects back then. This is like cutting tape to make samples.
Exactly, dude.
And fucking like this is the other side of it.
But it's like a
where-
big fucking scale.
yeah.
You know?
I did that shit
What's
with
crazy-
Radio Shack Mike's duct tape,
Yeah.
and we had our singer sing in the bathroom for
Yeah.
reverb.
I mean,
did that shit.
Redman fucking recorded a ton of his albums in the bathtub, in the shower.
right.
He had a mic in the shower, like to
Right.
get that natural reverb. And what's crazy is all this stuff, like this guy's doing that, and then you have some other guy cutting tape, and then it all comes fucking full head where it's like, oh shit, like somebody creates a machine that does reverb and does echo and does these things, like to where it's fucking,
It's a
that's
trip to me that
amazing.
you make reverb by running a fucking signal through like resistors and shit. Like it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Or like pre-echo and shit.
Yeah.
That's all. And then it goes into stuff like it takes the sound
Right.
before and like runs it through a processor and it milliseconds before
I
it comes
get it when
in.
there's
like,
microprocessors, but when it's
Yeah.
like just fucking straight
Oh,
up
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
analog,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
you're
like a switch,
delays
yeah.
and shit, you're like,
Yeah.
that's fucking a trip.
pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So yeah, he knocked it out, and yeah, for just a simple rock and roll song that sounds like it's 4 instruments and a singer, he would have like 50 people in the studio to record the
sound
sound.
huge.
He would
Right,
take
yeah.
44 microphones in, but which I was like, there should be phasing problems because like microphone positioning, like even when you have stereo mics, you have like phasing things where
Yeah.
like frequency ranges like just they go out because like you're doubling over. I don't know. Clearly, he knows what the fuck he's
Right.
doing.
He
Well,
mixed
and
it properly
microphones were
and-
different back then too. If they were using ribbon mics, if they were using,
Right.
you know what I mean, like different
Right.
things you do different. They're gonna have different effects,
Right.
So
Right.
I mean, apparently it worked for him. So
And apparently it just
maybe
it
you
just,
EQ the mics or something weird, like you change the frequency range of the
maybe.
mics,
or the way they're pointing and the, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it could be an entirely, whatever he did, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
you
But
know?
it changed all of music apparently. Like
Oh,
it
recording.
changed pop
Yeah.
music, it changed rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like every band heard it. Because you have to imagine you're in whatever band, you're in the Beatles, you're in the Beach Boys, you are Bruce Springsteen,
Like,
and you're
he's
fucking
playing a Gibson guitar with a fucking this type of amp, and my shit don't sound
right.
like
Why
that.
does it sound
Yeah.
like that? Like I'm just driving down
Yeah.
the car listening to the radio for a new song, and it
Yeah.
sounds so much better than
Yeah.
what I can record. So everybody is suddenly like fucking Phil Spector. Like this is the guy who can do it. And you have to imagine the first times he was doing it, it was probably even somewhat of an industry secret. Like
Oh,
people were
yeah.
probably like, how does it even sound like that? That's crazy,
Yeah.
But yeah, so in 1966, he produces Ike and Tina Turner. They do River Deep Mountain High. He considers it to be his greatest production that he's ever done. It's the full time that he's like fully doing the Wall of Sound in its biggest application.
That man's an Ike fan too. He gave some Tina
Big
Turner
Ike,
hate.
big
Like,
Ike lover. Yeah, he was hating on Tina and loving on Ike. But he placed it. It hit number
sense,
3
though.
in UK, and it only hit 88 in the US. And at the same exact time, he was trying to merge Phyllis Records with A&M, but something about the deal fell through. And
he's going down on a spiral.
He went into a 2-year spiral and didn't fucking do any work, didn't talk to anybody. That was right when he married his first wife, the Ronette, and Veronica Bennett of the Ronettes. And
did he beat her?
He didn't beat her, but one thing, I don't know that he beat her. I didn't read anything about him beating her. But at one point he said that he was so jealous of her that he would make her place a human dummy in the passenger seat if she ever drove through LA, so that no one would try to pick up on her while she was driving.
Yeah, he had
the
issues.
car.
This guy had some issues.
I watched that fucking weird ass Phil Spector doc last night, and they talked about a little bit like some weird hostage-esque type love things
With
where
her?
like maybe we couldn't leave the house. I can't remember.
Well, if he was so jealous and so overbearing, then you could see that. That's why I was asking.
I can't think of the name of that doc.
Somebody being married.
It was
to somebody
pretty good
like
though,
that.
because they were talking about like in real time. They followed both timelines side by side, where he was talking about like the music stuff, and then they would just go to the trial of him like murder stuff. And he's like, and then I was working with Tina Turner and then like murder stuff. Like they were like right next to it. They were showing how this guy could be a musical genius and all the things he worked with and shit. And then at the same time, they were showing the trial side by side. It was,
Right. And you got to imagine, like, if you were in LA and you were like, oh, look at her in that car. Like, she is hot.
Not alone.
Like, I'm going to say something to her. Oh, she's not. Oh, there's a fucking giant dummy in the car.
Like, weirdo.
Exactly, dude. Like, it's not like someone's going to see
just a scarecrow
the dummy
like fucking,
and be like, shouldn't hit on her. She's with a guy. It's like, what is up with that bitch with the fucking scarecrow in the
a skeleton?
And the mannequin's never not hard.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
He could go forever.
True. And the scarecrow is probably more handsome than Phil Spector was.
Yeah, probably.
So he did, during his 2 years of silence, he played a drug dealer in the film Easy Rider, and he played
motorcycle film.
He played himself in I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, damn.
Which I really need to see.
Yeah, Jeannie was hot.
Jeannie was super hot.
Yeah.
Back up.
Although I would wager that Samantha in Bewitched was hotter than Jeannie.
Oh, that's what I'm
Jeannie.
picturing. Yeah.
Oh, the nose.
She was.
Maybe
fucking
that's
hot.
what I'm picturing.
Elizabeth Montgomery was beautiful.
Dave knows her name and shit.
I do.
Phil Spector and I Dream of Jeannie.
Are you looking up Phil Spector, or are you looking up Samantha in Bewitched?
Samantha and I Dream of Jeannie. I didn't even look up Phil Spector.
I looked at Phil Spector.
Oh, I don't. They're very similar. They're very similar.
Same time frame.
Look how far he went from.
Oof. That was that a picture of him and I Dream of Jeannie?
Yeah, that's him from the episode.
Yeah. So, which again, it speaks of his fame. How many music producers in 1967 could have been in a popular sitcom playing themselves because people knew who he was? Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking saying something about
musician, yes.
his level of success.
I'm going with Jeannie. She was...
That's the Jeannie chick. And then who was the other person?
That Jeannie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I Dream of Jeannie. And
that's
then,
Jeannie.
Yeah, Samantha.
What's the other show called?
Bewitched.
Oh, Bewitched. That's right.
Because the thing is, though, Bewitched has an uphill battle to fight because she doesn't have her titties hanging out like Jeannie.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but I mean, Jeannie's.
You typed Bewitched. It was like Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie side by side.
Yeah, I mean, here's good. I mean, they're pretty close. And they both have a husband. The husband looks similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I think she's way more.
Yeah,
beautiful.
but I'm going Jeannie. That's my vote. That's my vote.
I'm not gonna ever get mad at anybody. For making that call, because that's a difficult call to make.
Yeah,
you know.
No, I'm.
Which one did you say, Dave?
I said Samantha from Bewitched. Yeah.
Brent's investigating.
No, because the Samantha woman's more maternal. She looks very motherly for some reason. Yeah, see it? I think she's older or something, probably.
Jeannie's seductive.
They're both like women of that time. Like, almost.
I might also be
drag going on.
I might also be weighing in on the character because Samantha was just sophisticated and intelligent, and Jeannie was just kind of a ditz. And I'm way more attracted to the sophistication of
Yeah.
Samantha.
Yeah, very true. I watched both of them because they were all reruns.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure.
When I was a kid, you know, and they both actually were good. Because actually, when you said "I Dream of Jeannie," I was actually thinking of the
Bewitched?
husband from Bewitched,
Oh,
like the genie.
Darren?
I knew the genie,
Yeah.
but Darren, yeah.
I think the problem is like they
Instead
both
of
look a little-
Colonel, Major Healy.
Yes,
they both look a little masculine to me for some reason. I think it's because you had to have a crush on them while they were like in the show when you were a child or something. Like I remember I had a crush on Hot Lips, and you go from MASH, and you go look it up, and you're like, nah, that's
Oh, I still think Elizabeth Montgomery's beautiful.
from this one of these.
Yeah,
can't
she's
keep track.
Samantha. Okay, we're
You-
down.
You have a kid crush, is
We're
why.
down the wrong. No, she's beautiful. Like I can objectively, as an adult, look at her and be like, "Oh, she's a beautiful woman."
That's her though, right there. You think she's a beautiful woman?
Well, that's a weird picture. That's like a mad dog.
Why are you showing them weird pictures?
Yeah,
Look.
yeah. That's the picture he's showing me. Yeah. Okay, so the Beatles.
This is what we do, Dave.
Yeah.
This is how the show works.
No, I'm aware.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but we have business to attend to over here.
Very important.
This is very important. I mean,
It is.
these are decisions to be made.
It is.
You know,
He's the only one who's still on the fence.
this could be life changing. Yeah, we made decisions.
I don't even like the fence he's on, though.
No, he's looking at the husbands now.
Like he's
She looks like Pickle Surprise.
Which
like-
husband do
he's
you
like
like
saying
better?
that he doesn't
Which
like either
husband?
one of them.
Yeah,
I need to see them side by side.
Which
But even
husband
the
do you like better?
But
Show
even
me
the
the
husband
show me
is
side by side.
good luck because there were two Darrens.
Oh man,
They did a Darren swap mid
Dick York,
show.
Captain Dick York. What's that whole thing from
Dick York and Dick Sargent.
Dick Sargent, Sergeant
Yeah.
Dick York.
Dick York and Dick
As if.
Sargent both
That's the whole
played
thing
Darren.
from Wayne's World. Yeah,
Right.
Dick York.
Yeah.
Dick
As
Sargent,
far as the husbands
Sergeant Dick
go,
York.
I'm giving the husband to Major Healy.
Who's that?
It's the husband in I Dream of Jeannie. Come on, he played J.R. Ewing
don't
in
know.
Dallas.
We're a couple years off, Dave. You're a couple years ahead of me.
So there's
Yeah.
the Bewitched husbands. That's both Darren's.
Oh, neither of those guys though. Really. That guy looks like Jim
Okay,
Carrey.
yeah, kind of. He kind of does.
You know what's weird is the people from that time just weren't the same type of attraction. I wonder, is there walking around a Bradley Cooper
For sure.
Oh yeah.
But he just wasn't on TV because like what was considered attractive, like his lead male role, like is like still a weird looking guy.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
so
kinda looks like a weird
that's
Jim
the
Carrey.
husband. Like that's Jeannie's husband.
I mean, he's probably a better looking guy than the weird
I'm
Jim
drawing a
Carrey
blank
guy.
on his name. Does it say his name? I'm drawing a fucking blank. I'm going to know it as soon as I hear it.
I don't. You know, what, I'm in images. I'm at the. Oh, Larry Hagman.
Larry Hagman, yep. Okay. So, early 1970s, the manager of the Beatles flies Spector out to England, and he ends up doing some solo stuff with John Lennon and with George Harrison. And Lennon and Harrison are both completely blown away by Spector and what he can do. And they bring him on.
What's your ego like when you're fucking talking to fucking George Harrison
on,
and
dude.
John Lennon? Like, let me tell you how to fix this.
Exactly,
guys.
dude.
You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And they're impressed with what
Right.
you have to do.
So they turn to him and
They went to him.
Yeah.
He didn't go to them.
He did singles for both of them, and they said, "Okay, here's the thing: our final album that
he
we
knows the
fell
public-
apart
yeah.
because of."
And the public doesn't know the Beatles are done and this is the last thing.
No,
He knows. Yeah.
right? And he's like, "This is the last thing. We can't get this album to work." And again, that's a weird notion to me because I'm not a musician. But it was like when we did the Beastie Boys episode, and it would be like, "Yeah, we just had this album that we couldn't finish. Like it was just." Mumbles and garbage, and we
Yeah,
couldn't.
I mean,
but then they would have to produce it and pull it together and make it amazing.
It'd be the same thing of a book you can't finish
Right.
because you have writer's block and things like
Exactly.
that. I mean,
Right.
there's a musical block of, you know,
Right.
you're just like, fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing's fitting. Nothing's right. You know?
yeah. But the weird thing is, how do you go in as a producer? Like, but in that case, you finish writing it. Like in this case, it's all there.
Right.
This guy just has to fucking abracadabra the pieces in the right way.
Yeah.
To make it
Yeah.
sound right. That's so I can't conceive of it because I have no
Yeah.
musical brain.
Well, it's like you make that same mistake over, and when you have fresh eyes on something, you know what I mean? It's like even
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
counting something or doing
Yeah.
something. And
You
someone walks
listen
in
to
there like,
something
oh,
over and
you're not
over
looking
and
at that.
over.
You're like,
Right,
fuck, I didn't
yeah.
see it. I kept seeing the same
True.
problem. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's how stuff gets overproduced.
Right.
Because people, they just keep listening to it and keep adding to it and keep adding to it and adding to it. And pretty soon, it's this fucking monstrosity.
Yeah. True.
When if they would have just
Pare
left it
down
fucking
and-
alone,
Yeah. Right. Right.
then it would have been good, you know?
So he produces it and does Let It Be, produces The Long and Winding Road, #1 fucking global smash hit, etc. Apparently everybody loved it except Paul McCartney, but everybody else in the group was like, this is fantastic. A lot of musical critics talked shit about it. Like years later, they were like, "Oh, he kind of fucked up the final Beatles album because it could have been pure them, but instead it was Phil Spector."
He argues, he's like, then you should go ahead and listen to the version that I was presenting.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I should have heard that one.
And
It's
even
garbage.
John Lennon says that and defends him. He says, "I gave him shit." You know what I mean? He made it into something
he
good.
says that. He says we gave him shit,
and it turned into hits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And both. I mean, and again. I never heard Ringo weigh in, but George Harrison.
Nobody
it said
cared.
all of
cared
the
about
Beatles
Ringo.
liked the end result except
for Paul McCartney.
Right.
But
Paul McCartney probably was the one that made him break up in the first place.
Probably,
That's
yeah.
why he was still fucking doing solo shit.
Yeah. John Lennon said he was given the shittiest load of badly recorded shit, and he made something out of it. He did a great job.
Fuck you, Paul McCartney.
He kept doing hit albums for John Lennison and George Harrison.
John
Venison.
It's a deer meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrapped in linens. It's Lennison.
Even like a 1973 live concert album that George Harrison did, he produced, and he did it with the Wall of Sound. So he was like, I know you're doing this live, but we need 12 violins, 6 guitarists,
put 'em behind the
4
curtain.
drummers. Yeah. So he recorded it with the Wall of Sound for the live
he put
album.
a partridge in a pear tree on the stage.
Did.
Yeah.
He won a Grammy for it. 44, that was when he did 44 microphones. He did 44 microphones on the live stage to get the Wall of Sound.
And ultimately, it's what make it an orchestra good.
It's me,
Yeah.
Phil Spector.
It's what makes an orchestra good. It's what make it an orchestra.
World War II.
Louis.
It's what makes an orchestra good, is having multiple clarinets, multiple violins, multiple drums, multiple, basses,
multiple like a Turner.
It's a multiple icons.
It's big. It's big sound. It's a bigger sound for sure.
Bigger the sound.
The bigger the sound, the bigger the head.
It's the bigger the gape.
No.
Bigger the gape, the sweeter the berry. I think that's what I say. Yeah.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blacker the berry, the sweeter the gape.
No.
Something like this mixed up there somewhere.
That could be.
Yeah.
Black of the berry, the bigger the gape.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe depends on how old they are.
I'm a sad.
You're wearing your Gabe Street Grips shirt.
No, I'm not.
It's like a
I
gape.
guess I am.
It's like a gape purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gapes of hell. That's where you're going.
Gape Fago. Tony the Tiger. They're grape.
They're gape.
No, it's grape though.
Did I say grape?
You said
I heard
something,
gape.
Oh man,
Grape Pop-Tarts are the best Pop-Tarts.
No.
man.
They were.
They have grape Pop-Tarts?
They don't have them here. They were fucking fantastic.
Blueberry's the best.
That's your other half talking.
Blueberry and
Dave.
the
I don't know
cinnamon
about
ones.
that. Cinnamon brown sugar.
Cinnamon
One thing
brown
I
sugar
missed
and
as soon
blueberry.
as I left Michigan, I was like, where the fuck are the grape Pop-Tarts?
Grape Pop-Tarts.
That's
Let me
weird.
see if that's still a thing. I'll try them for
I
sure.
mean, you can get them. They're probably all right. I don't even like grape jelly though. Like on a
That's just
on a
weird.
peanut butter and jelly.
Who doesn't like grape jelly?
I don't. Me. I
That's the
just
thing.
said
If you can like grape jelly on a peanut butter and jelly, that should not be a stretch to enjoy a grape.
no,
Pop-Tart.
I don't think so. It just won't taste like grape, probably though.
You know
No,
what bothers
it's-
me right now is that fucking they have like cereal that is like crazy, like candy and shit.
Oh,
It'll be
yeah.
like Nerds cereal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was in the
They
yogurt
have sour.
section.
They have sour punch.
They have Sour Patch yogurt and
yeah.
Skittles yogurt.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I was like, oh my fucking God.
My wife bought some Sour Patch like cereal, and I wanted to punch her in the stomach.
diabetes.
It was terrible. He's dead.
So,
They have Toastums has grape.
what's that?
You can't-
Toastums.
Yeah, they
Those
don't
are
have the real
generic.
brand.
Yeah, I don't think
No, it's
Pop-Tarts
not even that.
makes-
It's Frosted Wild Berry.
Last time I searched it, they were still available, but they weren't sold in the United States.
Oh, Wild Grape. I found it. Wild Grape Pop-Tarts.
What's the difference?
Wild
grape
grape?
and tamed grape.
There's a different grape.
Wild
It's all about
grape.
the bush.
Frosted.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Amazon, it says, limited edition Pop-Tarts.
Oh, wow.
Grape 2-pack. Currently unavailable.
Yeah, I can't eat it.
Currently
It's got pig skin in it.
So weird.
Yeah.
How does pigskin make it into a fucking
Makes it into
breakfast
everything,
pastry?
dude.
It's probably fat in the pastry.
It's the what
Mazza.
do we call it?
My
Starts with a
Mazza.
G.
GMO.
I was going to say glycerin, and that's
Gape.
not what it is. It's not fucking Gape, goddammit. Okay. So he goes batshit in the 1970s. So George Harrison said that at one point he had to climb down into Phil Spector's hotel room from the roof to get him to attend the final recording sessions. And then he needed 18 cherry brandies to get him drunk enough to go down into the studio.
I was wondering if the scene from Wayne's World where there's like, he had to bite him to death with his own shoes. That whole thing about a brandy glass full of M&Ms and all that, when they demand that shit to go on stage. When he tells the story about the bloody Bengal tiger. Nothing. He tells these British guys, they're like British rock stars. He's like, and there I was on the stage with this bloody Bengal tiger, and I had to beat him to death with my own shoe. But before whoever was like Ozzy would go on stage, he wanted a brandy glass full of M&Ms or something. It was like this ridiculous shit. And then here you have him,
right,
like requesting fucking 18 cherry brandies or whatever before he'll fucking go produce.
It's actually really funny. There was I thought it was funny. I follow The Rock on Facebook. And some woman was like, he shared a post from a woman who was like thanking him for Terramana and like for his tequila. And in the middle of it, she said in the text above her video, like, we just got engaged. I'd love to have you officiate the ceremony because I know that you're ordained. And like in his reply, he like said some funny reply or whatever. And you knew he wasn't joking, but he said, I'd be happy to come and do your marriage ceremony for free, but I don't think you could afford the retainer. Oh, wow. And the retainer is all that shit. It's like you probably need to bring him a full gym. He needs to fly first class, stay in a presidential suite.
Come on, you don't have to.
But
I
thought it was a funny response. It's like,
no, it is. Like, I'd be happy
anyway,
to, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
like, I mean, come on, you could fucking
like
Terry Crews would do it.
Steve Foster says, "With you, Brad. Fuck grape jelly. What's it like to be picky like that? Like, it's grape jelly. Like, fuck,
if I was hungry, I could eat it. That's all I had.
If I was hungry, I could eat it. Like, it's like if I'm starving, I could eat grape jelly.
I could eat grape jelly like Bear Grylls squeeze water out of elephant shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
I mean, if it had been day 44 on
like
a loan,
blackberry.
I'm up for the $1 million. There's no fish in my net. I'm foraging. I can't find any berries.
Yeah, all I have is this fucking grape jelly.
Jar of Welch's.
I feel like I'm starving.
I guess I'd do it.
Yeah,
emaciated.
Yeah.
Auschwitz.
I'm all bloated like a fucking Ethiopian.
Dip some poison ivy leaves into my grape jelly. And
what don't you like about grape jelly? Like, does it taste like
don't like
it's
it.
off-putting? Like, is it bitter to you? Does it taste sour?
I don't know. What don't you like about?
I'm
what
curious.
Don't you like? I don't know. I just don't like
it's
it.
Weird to me. I'm wondering. Like,
I like blackberry.
Does it taste different to you?
I like strawberry jam. I don't even like jellies really. I like jams.
The specifics of
I
jellies
get it
versus
though. Like
jam.
if I was
person, you know that.
If I was at a diner and they set down the little mini packets of jellies, like if I saw blackberry jelly, I would be like, next.
You could put any one of those on, and I would.
But if all they put down was blackberry jelly,
I like red raspberry
jelly.
If I had toast and they're like, "Sorry, sir, we only have this jelly of a standard flavor, not some weird meat paste."
If they only had grape, I would just put butter on the toast and eat it without the jelly.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's just weird to me.
I won't eat the grape jelly.
I would eat fucking whatever.
So what would be your preferred jelly?
It just wouldn't really matter. I would eat fucking strawberry, grape, orange marmalade, blackberry, raspberry.
I think that's
what I'm wondering. Like,
I think that's the weird response.
What do you mean? What's it like?
Like they set down grape, they set down strawberry.
I have
they
no
set
preferred.
Down, they set down raspberry. They set down orange marmalade.
I would probably eat the marmalade because it's like next level. Yeah,
that's the weird. Like
it's artisan.
That's when I would throw it away. Yeah, I'm like, fuck that one.
Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I would just have
orange
the
marmalade and grape.
I would just have buttered before I would eat the orange marmalade.
Exactly. That's
Except maybe on an English muffin, I would probably put marmalade on an English.
I mean,
muffin.
I might try it.
It's nostalgic to me, I think, because like my grandma always had orange marmalade, and it's like kind of a next level. Nah, and someone's saying, "Fuck, I have no room to talk." I'm not picky about anything.
Was she a Creole lady marmalade?
I'm not picky about anything.
I'm not. I'm really not. There's a couple things that I don't like. Like I don't like salmon. That's like almost.
You don't like sweet barbecue sauce?
No, I like barbecue sauce.
Not sweet barbecue sauce. You don't like sweet barbecue?
No, I don't prefer like I wouldn't put. So the one thing that might relate to, I wouldn't put syrup on pancakes. I probably wouldn't do it. But when I eat syrup on pancakes, I'm like, that's delicious. But I probably wouldn't do it because it feels like I'm gonna get sick or something. It's like a lot of sugar. It might be like diabetes in my fucking genetics, like chasing me away. I don't know. But otherwise, I'm not really picky about anything.
Colin, you need to try the
what? What are you laughing at? I don't understand.
You need to try the savory chickpea pancakes.
That sounds fine.
I think you'd like them.
I just like fish is really the only thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like
meat.
That's
Chicken?
more of a choice I'm making. Chicken's delicious.
Yeah.
I'm not avoiding it because of that. Chicken's delicious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, like ice cream, candy bars?
No, I like all that.
Like sweets? Oh, okay.
So apparently Spector starts pulling out his handgun at recording sessions.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you have to. You got to keep these artists in line.
You got to keep those Beatles in line.
I watched
like those Beatles get too big for their britches.
He was in the wrong.
Sometimes
He was in the wrong industry. This motherfucker thought he was Suge Knight.
Exactly,
Like,
dude. He was fucking. He even taught Suge a thing or two.
Yeah.
I watched the interview where he tells the story about firing the gun by John Lennon, and he was like, "Hey man, like if you're gonna," he said, "Phil, if you're gonna shoot me. Don't fuck with my ears, man." Because he like shot the gun and his ear was ringing like in the studio. That's all he said. And the piano,
I'm a fucking musician. Like,
the
don't
piano
fuck my ears up.
behind them was the piano they fucking like wrote "Let It Be" or something on. I was like,
And he shot
that's
it?
fucking crazy, yeah. In the interview.
It also said that he pulled a gun one time in the studio on Stevie Wonder.
There was no witnesses on that.
Well, no, that's what they said. They said that he was all
Stevie
pissed
didn't
off.
even know.
No, that's exactly it. He was all pissed off at Stevie Wonder and like screaming
Fucking
at him.
over
And
there,
apparently he
fucking-
pulled out a gun because that was a maneuver he would do and make artists back
intimidate.
What, are you
down.
going to scare him?
And everybody else in the studio was freaking out
They
and
got
back
quiet.
down. And Stevie was just fucking sitting there talking shit back to him because he never
like-
said, Stevie, I just pulled a gun on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stevie
I'm
was
pointing a
like-
gun at your
Yeah,
face,
exactly.
Steven. Get real here.
So more seclusion after the Beatles. The 1970s, he became more and more reclusive. He got in a car wreck in 1974. He's thrown through the windshield of his car in Hollywood. He almost died to the point that all the cops who arrived on the scene like didn't even call an ambulance because he was dead.
Damn.
And then finally one of the cops was
That's
like,
why he looks like the Crypt Keeper now.
yeah. One of the cops was like, did anyone check to see if he's dead?
Check his pulse?
Because everyone was just like, of course he's fucking dead. His brain's hanging out of his head.
Oh,
and then the cop like reached down and checked his pulse and was like, nope, he's alive. So they called a fucking ambulance, drove him back. He got
400 stitches on his face and
300 stitches to his face, 400 stitches on the back of his head.
That's
Yeah,
like
that's all part of the slip and slide, my friends.
Yep.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit, bro. That's like
All
fucking,
part of the slip
yeah.
and slide.
Like
So he had some head
if
injuries
your
as
shorts,
well.
if you ripped your shorts and they need that many stitches, you would throw that shit away.
yeah, you
know what I mean?
would,
Like,
yeah.
that's a lot of fucking stitches.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
So
Yeah, in a small area, like your face.
Your face, dude. How does he not look more fucked up? really?
Leather face,
Whoever
yeah.
did that did
exactly,
pretty good.
dude. Whoever did that was amazing.
Was it just around the perimeter? Like, what's going on?
I don't
No,
know.
I think it was. I think he died and he just became
Came
the
back
crypt
to life.
keeper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Like that's just some necromancy right there.
They poured unicorn blood down his throat.
exhilarating. Crypt Keeper is fucking awesome,
Crypt
man.
keeper was fantastic,
Yeah.
dude. So he establishes Warner Spector Records as an offshoot of Warner Brothers.
That's pretty gangster too. Like Warner,
Yeah.
Spector,
Yeah.
like my last name and Warner.
And Warner Brothers is still there as its own label, but then they gave him a sub label under Warner Brothers in 1977. He does an album for Leonard Cohen, who's an amazing musician. And apparently Leonard Cohen said that the end product was grotesque because Leonard Cohen writes very simple songs.
And he's doing the wall of sound. with them
Exactly.
shit,
And he like
yeah.
That would
twisted it
suck,
all up
though.
and did all this stuff, did all of it. And normally Leonard Cohen was in the studio when all the final mixing was happening, but
Not
Phil
with Phil.
Spector just put it all together and gave it to the label. And it was like, too late. It's already done. And he was like, I don't fucking like the end product of my own album.
That would suck.
Fuck
and
you. You're
apparently-
just an artist, though. It doesn't matter.
Right. And apparently he did the same exact thing with the Ramones. He recorded the Ramones in 79. Some of their biggest hits like Rock and Roll High School, like those are all Phil Spector songs. But again, the Ramones were like, we had a certain vision for the album. We recorded it with a certain thing in mind. Phil Spector just did his own fucking shit. He was out of control. He was fucking like
Pulled the
all
gun
this,
on us. Yeah.
They said that he threatened various members of the Ramones with a gun during the sessions. Dee Dee Ramone said that he pulled a gun on him when he was going to leave a session because Phil Spector was fucking losing his nut. And Marky Ramone said, quote, "The guns were there, but he had a license to carry. He never held us hostage. We could have left at any time."
Well,
but still,
I mean,
you're still walking around with a gun and pulling it out at people. I'm just going to leave right now. You're unhinged. You have brain damage and you're brandishing a gun in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
And you probably had 18 brandies before you got here.
Exactly.
Drunk off your ass.
more.
Yeah. And at the Grammys, we were talking to fucking Leonard Cohen and he said you pulled a gun. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, fucking wrong person, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're
like,
a rat motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Fucked up ass haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets into the
look like a fucking garbage pail kid, motherfucker.
He does look like a
fucking
pail
zipper
kid.
face Phil.
So in '89, he gets into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He won a Grammy Trustee Award. He's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And again, all of that 100% valid. Like he should be in all those things because of what he did. So then in 2003, he met Lana Clarkson, who was an actress in B movies.
Kelly Clarkson's mom.
Yeah. And she was a hostess at this tells you the level of actress that she was. She was a hostess at the House of Blues in LA. But she had been in movies, but she was in B movies from like the 80s and 90s, you know. So
Just
she invites him.
hadn't got her break yet.
Yeah.
You know
She invites him. He invites her home to his mansion in Alhambra, which everyone referred to as the Pyrenees Castle. And they go back on February 3rd, 2003. Fucking hair, dude. Ridiculous.
The dandelion, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious. Oh my God.
So the chauffeur is waiting outside, and the chauffeur reported later on that he heard what he thought was a gunshot. And at the murder trial,
consistently pulling guns out
pretty
of people.
much. At the murder trial, he said that Spector came out of the mansion and said, "I think I killed somebody." That was the chauffeur's take on it. The cops got there. Her body was found slumped in a chair with a single gunshot wound to her mouth.
Damn.
Spector told Esquire in July of 2003 that it was an accidental suicide and that she kissed the gun and it went off. To which I say, I believe the kissed the gun part, and I might even believe the accident part, but I think it was an accidental murder because I think you stuffed the fucking gun in her mouth
manslaughter.
because she didn't want to have sex with you.
Several people come in to witness in court and speak about how women specifically about he stuck guns in their face in multiple occasions.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is, like, forensically, is he didn't actually have like powder burns on his hand. He was wearing a white, like a fucking pristine, crazy white jacket that had nothing on it, no blood spatter. Like, if you stand close enough to someone to shoot them in their fucking mouth,
he changed. Yeah.
it was like pop. He walked out. Chauffeur saw them like come in, come out, pop the noise. He walked out immediately. But so there's just a bunch of weird stuff. I was wondering if there was some weird like gunplay, sexual weirdness going on.
He had her holding the gun, hold the gun, put the gun in your mouth.
Yeah, put it in your mouth or something, and like he.
But there would have been.
He said, "Cock it." She's not familiar with the fucking.
Pull the trigger.
Yeah, and so then she fucking accidentally pulls the hammer back or some shit and pop. And he's like, "Fuck! I think I fucking killed someone."
Accidental suicide.
Yeah,
he didn't do it.
So you're on Team Spector.
No, because he has too much of a history of being head injury fucking gun. But there is some weird shit.
Just because he was crazy doesn't mean that he like full on just fucking murdered somebody for no reason. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
they have a lot of other things. It's like,
but what was the story though? Like,
beautiful women also
say,
don't commit suicide that way usually, right? They usually cut the wrist or take pills or something.
There
was things that are like I can't remember what they call it, but like positive life planning, like characteristics of her, like preparing taxes or having letters like saying I have plans on doing something.
What was his story in court?
Accidental suicide.
What was his story in court though? Like what did he say exactly happened?
They tried to.
There is
I watched a lot of it.
I didn't see a lot of it because the biographies and the writing about it, like that's kind of.
So
like
on the documentary, what was he had to have testified?
He says accidental suicide, but it's not. It doesn't cover it. Real
But that
it shows the one that
was
was a mistrial or something. It doesn't show the second one where they get him guilty.
Well, that's because
it happened.
The
after.
judge in the first trial said, "I'll allow cameras in the courtroom."
Next one, no.
The first court was a hung jury, and apparently it was just a media clusterfuck.
Right.
So on the second trial, he said, "There's no cameras in the
Closed
so there's
courtroom.
no footage in the second trial."
Yeah, but
so
there had to be
everyone
something
chose
of
the first trial
like
because
a
it's
transcript of his. You know what I mean? A transcript of people saying, and a transcript
sure
of
there
him
is.
saying, or his attorney saying
I'm
what
sure there is.
happened.
It's probably public record, but
Yeah.
nobody was quoting it or.
So, but there's just a lot of weird
weird.
stuff. Then they do say that 99% of intraoral gunshots are suicide. 99% of cases. They have like forensics experts and fucking coroners. And
well, if he
everyone
said
from-
it was accidental, it's,
Well, I
they were
think
obviously
if
doing
this is a
something.
suicide, it was. I can't even say this. I don't even know that I would use the term suicide. To me, suicide is a loaded term that implies you want to end
With
your
intent,
life.
with intent,
She
yeah.
If this is what happened, she accidentally killed herself, but I wouldn't say it was a suicide.
No, suicide. She accidentally
You know
killed
what?
herself.
Like maybe it's all the same term legally, but
He
to me-
accidentally killed her. She accidentally killed herself. One or the other.
right.
But he had
it wasn't
he had a
suicide.
history of brandishing weapons against
Yeah,
women
and
when they
pointing
denied
people-
him
yeah.
sexual like gratification. Like when he showed romantic interest in women and they told him no because he looks like Hoggle, he fucking pulled out guns on several occasions in the
Yeah.
past. And that's probably
And this
what
could
was
have been the
going on.
case where, he didn't mean to kill her. He
I know
meant to pull
this
the
that
gun.
when he
And
walked
here's-
into that club or whatever
Yeah,
they were
but
at
it's
where
still
he met
murder.
her,
Mhm.
she
Blues.
referred to him as a ma'am or miss, and the other waitress ran over. She's like, "That's Phil Spector," but he had a crazy hair wig on.
Yeah,
and
I'm
she
sure
thought
he
she was
did,
a
yeah.
woman.
And she knew who he was. Why the fuck did she go back to his house? You know what I mean? Like,
Some Cosby
because he's
shit
fucking
going
Phil
on.
Spector. Yeah.
exactly.
So, but here's the other thing, and I didn't really have a place for this until right now. I'm surprised it made it into my notes. One of a forensic pathologist who was at the trial when he was testifying said, quote, "Look at Mr. Spector. He has Parkinson's features. He trembles." So one of the forensics experts was brought in and was saying that they thought, based on all medical evidence, he had Parkinson's. That was all that he said. But now I'm thinking maybe that was an argument being made that he was holding the
Shaky.
gun. He had Parkinson's and shook and accidentally pulled the trigger and
that's
killed her.
a possibility,
I mean,
yeah.
that's another possibility.
What was the gun?
The trial
Which would be an
obviously
accidental,
didn't-
you know what I mean?
It'd be
Accidental
homicide.
Yeah, homicide.
Maybe, or
yeah.
It was a revolver or
Well, it's
something.
maybe even
manslaughter.
manslaughter. Yeah.
But he fucking killed her. I mean, either way. you know.
Probably. Yeah.
Because you pull the hammer back, it don't. You touch.
Well,
the fucking
some
trigger,
guns,
yeah.
it depends on the gun. Some guns you don't have to pull the hammer back. Some guns you can pull the hammer back
Then it's
and
a hair
pull.
trigger, yeah.
Some you have to pull the hammer back.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's either
Yeah,
or.
if you're pulling trigger with no hammer back, that's a
Right.
very deliberate.
One of my handguns
pull.
doesn't even-
It's a long
Clunk.
pull.
It's a long pull.
Right.
Hammer
One of mine
back,
doesn't
short
even
pull.
have a hammer.
Yeah.
Not like a
Yeah.
visible.
Some don't have
Yeah.
hammers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some are. Yeah.
But I
the
think this was like a
semi-autos.
38
Yeah.
snub nose revolver.
I
or
want to
something.
say,
can't
yeah, I
remember.
want to say it's a 38.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And just because it's a revolver, you don't have it. It's just a long pull.
Right.
you
But
know?
if he was telling her like pull the hammer back or doing some weird dirty
Yeah.
freaky thing he was into, like if she's not familiar with guns and
right.
maybe.
could happen.
So
I'm just throwing that out there.
He gets 19 years. The primary of which he's supposed to serve at North Kern State Prison in California.
That's right by us.
That's
baby.
in Delano. I almost
right
taught.
off Laredo.
I almost taught at North Kern State,
Yeah.
but I ended up at Kern Valley State, which is literally a mile past. It's like you go past the Delano Center of Bakersfield College, you drive about a mile, you hit North Kern State, you drive about a half a mile, and you hit Kern Valley State.
North Kern's their golf course,
Yeah.
and then the prison's right next to the golf course.
It's funny in the interview when they're asking the guy says, so what happens because he's in the middle of the trial? He's like, what if they find you guilty? He's all, Bubba tears me a new ass, I guess. Like, he's like,
wow.
Yeah, I was like, oof.
And in the interviews, man, he's a weird motherfucker from jump.
And then he
From
requested to wear a
jump.
hat and they denied it. And then finally he said for religious reasons he wanted a yarmulke, and they granted him a yarmulke.
Well, he's apparently he kept wearing he always wore crazy wigs because he was so fucked up from that car wreck.
Yeah.
Like that was when he started wearing.
He
the
even
wigs.
tried to defend the crazy wig that we keep laughing at, the one that looks like fucking Hair Bear.
Yeah.
He fucking tried
And
to
look up Hanna-Barbera Hair Bear if
looks
you don't
just
know
like-
what I'm
yeah,
talking
it's
about.
fucking perfect.
Exactly.
That
what
is
it looks
exactly it. Actually,
It's the same
That's
color.
hilarious.
It's the right fucking
Yeah.
frizz. It's
Yeah.
everything. But he tried to say say that picture was a funny angle. Like he was like
funny.
It's really not that crazy.
No, it's a hysterical angle.
He said that he's like, there's other pictures of the same wig that don't look like that. He's like, it's the way the lighting was and the angle that it was shot at.
But there's also pictures of the same wig that look even more ridiculous. Yes. That's the problem.
Dude, there's some funny shit people did on the internet with it too, though. Sure. Just like the size of a planet and shit. Orbiting.
And that picture apparently was a large factor of the judge saying there's no cameras allowed for, like, that picture going viral.
Right.
Was largely why he restricted it.
Yeah, that's
so
funny.
at age 81, he died. And his daughter said that he died of COVID-19 complications.
Stop it.
He was intubated in San Joaquin General Hospital with a fucking
it's right here in
oxygen
Bakersfield.
tube.
No, not that one.
No, it's a different one actually. It's in French Camp, California.
What a
Where the
weird
fuck
name.
that is? Yeah,
French Camp. Oh, that's here too. That's in Kern. Yeah.
yeah. He was diagnosed with in like December 31st. They took him out of the hospital and admitted him, or they took him out of the prison and admitted him in the hospital. They intubated him in January, early January, and then he died with, COVID positive, couldn't breathe, died January 16th, 2021. So, and there is a movie. Normally I don't really care about the movies of things, but there's a movie where fucking Al Pacino plays Phil Spector.
Which funny because on some of the
came out on HBO.
I told you, I was like, that one looks like fucking Al Pacino. That's funny.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know it is
that
Al
it
Pacino.
was Al Pacino. So that I'm curious to see because Phil Spector is such a weird cat that to see Al Pacino's interpretation of it sounds fantastic.
You talking to me?
And it was in it was post murder.
Yeah.
So that they made the movie. So all the craziness and everything is in there.
I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
That's the wrong.
Same guy. Yes.
Man,
Yeah.
your degree of separation
Yeah.
from the wrong character
Yeah.
was flawless, I have to say. That
You
was planned.
laughing
It was
at
done
me?
Well.
You laughing at me?
Yeah.
You think I'm some kind of comedian?
Oh, now he's got Joe Pesci in the mix.
What?
I'm funny like you, like a fucking clown here to amuse you?
I'm doing Al Pacino.
Oh, I see what's going on here. Yeah. All right. Episode 585, Battle of the Bulge. I can't believe there weren't more Bulge jokes there, especially with the whole...
That's serious.
101st.
Serious concept.
Serious business. We
It
don't
is
fuck
serious,
around.
yeah.
We don't joke around when it's a serious subject.
I mean, the one thing that we were sure of was the near Arctic conditions. I mean, we know that. It was at 10 degrees of separation. It was close.
I mean,
it was close. Near.
If it's 90 degrees or 100 degrees, water don't boil. So it's not.
Near.
I mean,
It was near.
No. Disagree.
Never been 170 in the Arctic. Not even in the tundra.
Although I did have
The
to
tundra
laugh.
has been negative 100. It's like 160 in the tundra.
139 is the
I did
record.
laugh when I went back and proofread the
The
show
Arctic,
notes before I posted
the
them
tundra.
because in the show
On
notes I
Earth.
had already put that they
No.
were near Arctic conditions.
Yeah.
So after all the stuff in the episode, I was very happy to see that I put that in there. Sorry.
I deleted it.
That's
there.
predicted.
I changed it. Nowhere near Arctic conditions.
Yeah, I honestly wondered if you would.
I'm not that petty.
I think that's even what I subtitled it, wasn't it?
Petty's my
Near
last
Arctic
name, sir.
conditions.
Near Arctic warfare, I think is what I
yeah.
called it.
Yeah, I saw that and I was tempted. I was tempted. I have the final editing.
I didn't know if that would survive or not.
Yeah.
but yeah.
So on that episode, the Warrior Queen. Wow. At sensual_maiden. Wow. What's going
There's
on?
a whole lot going on
Yeah.
there.
Going to win on Twitter for interacting. So going to get a sticker pack from Print Dirt Cheap. Frankie Pigeon's going to reach out to you and get your contact information. So if you're listening, check your Twitter messages.
I'm confused. The sensual warrior?
It is. No, it's the Warrior Queen.
Warrior Queen.
Warrior
At
queen.
sensual_maiden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warrior queen. Sensual maiden.
There's a theme of female empowerment on the
Yeah.
wins this week.
Was that on Gooch? Did she
Kinda
take that
old.
on Gooch?
Tainted on
Kind
Gooch.
of old too, like olden style.
Yeah, a little bit.
Where women couldn't read yet, instead of armpit hair.
Yeah, they still do sometimes.
She does,
Some of them can't read.
and she can't.
Some of them have armpit hair.
She's like the Floyd
All of
Mayweather
them
of women.
technically have armpit hair.
She got buckwheat in the headlock.
Yeah, she got.
She has Phil Spector in the headlock. That's worse. Get Phil Spector in a scissor hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She got that hair bear. That's a
It's the
move.
hair
Yeah.
hamburger.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So we are part of the Podbelly Podcast Network. Go to podbelly.com. Check out cool podcasts like Ectoplasm if you're into paranormal stuff. They might have some beer. Go hit them up. Jason Cupsick over there was making beer with green El Yucateco.
Oh, lazy eye himself. huh?
Good.
Go check it out. Him and Josh do good stuff. Also check out At Least There's Coffee. Alex and Patty talking about at least there's all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yep.
So go check that out.
At least I haven't heard their podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
show. I like it.
And also, we are brought to you by El Yucateco Hot Sauce. That is our primary sponsor. It is nutritious. It's delicious. Put it in your mouth hole. Every week, we give away prizes from El Yucateco. So if you're in it, we said this before too. You can crutch on the community and try to trade Teco for your local wares. If you're in a weird area where you think you can't get Teco, I have definitely seen some bartering deals, which I think is kind of cool. So in our
they're using the internet
group,
in which they could buy it. They barter. I can't find it.
They barter between people.
I think that's cooler though.
It is cooler, but don't pretend like you can't find it.
You can get
it's
it
all
though.
over the fucking world.
mexgrocer.co.uk if you're in some weird place like that.
Yeah.
I know you can get it in UK. I know you can get it in Africa.
Well, we know.
You can get it
we know
in
all the
United
places you can
States.
get it.
Yeah. Pretty much everywhere. There's really not a spot you can't get it. If you're in the United States, it's at fucking Walmart, Target, your grocery store. It is there. Go get some, post it, tag them.
Bullshit ass Albertson.
Tag us.
No, Albertsons and Vons
at all.
Albertsons and Vons is weird. Probably Ralph's too. They don't have it. It's
at least not the one by my house. There might be some in the chain that do.
Nah, everyone I've been to doesn't have it. Their ethnic section is real weird though.
It is.
It's super weak.
I wonder how much control they have locally. Like if you can ask the manager, be like, "Hey, why don't you guys carry this?"
I don't know.
I'm gonna make
probably
it
not. Probably nothing.
I'm gonna ask. Can I speak with the manager, please? I'm gonna get a Karen wig and go in there.
Nice.
Ask for the
Wear
manager.
the fucking Phil Spector wig and go in there and point a gun at him.
Yeah,
that'll do it. All right, check it out. elucateco.com. Also, go to printdirtcheap.com if you need to get stickers or printed goods. Did we forget the two-day banner thing? Did we verify that?
It's number 2 day banners.
We were supposed to figure that out. That was between here and
Do you know what the website looks like if I pull it up? If I pull it up.
I won't. Actually. Haven't been there yet.
2 day banners, but it's saying it's some Iowa company.
Yeah, that's probably wrong. Yeah, we'll figure it out. For now, just print dirt cheap.
Icon company.
Yeah,
that's him. Okay, so 2 daybanners.com.
There we go. So if you want a banner, you can put a giant wiener on it, 9 foot by 2 feet high, and you can put that on your roommate's wall when they come home. They'll be really surprised.
Can they make me a banner of Bruce Banner?
Oh,
yeah. A Bruce Banner?
Yeah.
I think they can.
What about David Banner?
Yeah, we could probably make that too.
I think you can print whatever you want if you're not reselling it. You can even get away with some stuff that's not yours, probably.
If they were very clever and you ordered a Bruce Banner banner, they would just send you a green screen.
Like an Inception.
Yeah.
A green screen, I see what happened there.
Yep.
All right. Check that out. Brad was like, what? Check out Jimmy D's Tees. Go to jimmydstees.com. He makes t-shirts, silkscreen stuff. He can make stuff for you if you got a business or a band or a podcast or something cool like that, or you just want a t-shirt. He can make it. He also sells his own wares and trinkets over there. He's got some cool stuff. Go check it out. He helps us make some stuff at sofakingpodcast.com/shop. If you want to support us, that's one other way. If you don't manage your account well enough for your top ramens to keep it from going overdraft, and you're worried about reoccurring dollars coming out of your account, you could just go buy a shirt one time. If you're like, hey, I got $20 in my pocket, you can spend that $20, buy something on our website. If you can't figure out how to pace that over 12 months, you know what I mean? If you're less responsible, just buy it once, get it done, same support, and then you're a walking billboard. You can walk around town and support us. We appreciate that.
We
as
appreciate
well.
that.
Yeah,
we do.
Check that out.
And you might end up on the. No, you won't end up on the almost Sculpt member list. Sculpt.
Maybe.
You might. You never know.
Could be.
You never know.
Yeah.
All right.
We could just pick one random person that bought something in the shop and give them the $1, give away a $1 patron subscription.
Oh, we could give away patron subscriptions.
Yeah, we could do that.
That'd be, Who's going to pay for them though?
We do.
Somebody else has to.
What do you mean?
Patty Larson.
Sam Colby.
Patty Larson.
Sam
Congratulations. Congratulations. I'll pick somebody. Patty Larson's going to pay for your. And Alex Moreno. That's 2. Yes. We could do 2.
There you go. Let's split it. $6 a piece. You guys got this.
They do 2 different ones.
Oh, 2 separate people. $24.
Yeah.
All right. That works. They're probably down. We're giving them support.
And they're $10 memberships for the year.
Oh, wow. That's too much, probably. Yeah. Actually,
they're
both rich.
Have you seen Patty's horse?
Have you seen Alex's horse?
I have.
I went camping with him. It's impressive.
Yeah, I rode his horse.
Oh. You must be sore.
His horse is hung like a Benson.
Yeah.
What's a Benson?
That's
robot from Futurama?
Nope. Name of his dog.
No. She's trying to get all like inside fucking joke with him and shit. That was just
this
for
is a
Alex.
chilly joke.
Yeah.
I don't know. I figured anybody who listens to their podcast would have got that joke.
Oh, well,
all I can say is poor
I never heard
poor
it.
Vincent. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with the microwave, Dave. We know what's going on over there. Check out SKR
You're not
Apparel
done yet?
at
Jesus Christ.
SUIKER. You guys went off about your Benson Cocks.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Check out SKR Apparel at SUIKER. Apparel.com. Use code SoFaking Podcast to save 10%. Go check out Retro Vague. Use code 80s Kid to check that out and buy some 80s stuff. And that's all I got. You guys go ahead.
All right. It's our almost scope member of the month, tips of the month.
Low-hanging fruit, aka Dangerfields.
So
You're
these are
not
people
supposed to talk anymore.
These are no, he's still
done.
good at
I ran all the way home.
These are
to
people
walk
who applied to be Scope Member of the Month. It's a
Yeah.
rigorous application process. You can find it online. It's all very easy to find.
It's a rigid
but
application process.
These are people who applied, and we were like so close. Like,
Yeah.
like
we want to give them the opportunity.
we want to give them
Coaching.
feedback so they can apply again.
The problem is they
get it.
applied, but they don't apply themselves.
In some cases,
you go.
yeah.
Some people do.
Those are two different things.
Some people do.
Yeah.
So the first one, and this guy was so freaking close, was Walter Bailey.
Like he was edging.
He was edging.
Yeah, Walter Bailey. Walter Bailey's giving us whiskey, or no?
I don't know if there's a Walter Bailey whiskey.
I don't know if there's Walter Bailey whiskey.
I've heard his name before.
Steve Foster on the live tried to say that I'm picky because I called him out about his grape jelly because I don't like cold cock. I also don't like shit in my mouth, Steve. So. There you go.
It's so matter of fact.
There's a lot of
I also
venom.
don't like shit
There's
in
a
my mouth,
lot of
Steve.
venom
You
in
piece
there.
of fucking ass meat.
Just saying, that's not a good example.
Yeah,
That's
that's
an
true.
unreasonable thing.
Yeah, because there's some whiskeys I don't like too.
it's fucking
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, find something else, Steve.
Yeah, try again.
So the
Come at him again, bro.
Walter Bailey, there's a whole section in the application of like things that might be interesting about you. And one of the things that's interesting about him, and again, we're not going to stop someone for this. There's, the disease of alcoholism, et cetera. But he said that he doesn't drink whiskey. So if you
Right.
don't drink whiskey, that's fine. That's never going to stop you. But he said that he likes to have like that color of cocktail on the rocks at parties.
Mm-hmm.
So he pees in decanters and then puts Lipton tea bags in
Right.
until it gets the right color. And then that's what he walks around in a party acting like it's
Does he share
whiskey
it?
on the rocks.
Yeah, see, and that's okay. Like if you're out in the wilderness and you were like dehydrated, you
Right.
know. But at a party,
Yeah.
it's kind of
So that's just weird,
Yeah.
Walter Bailey. So don't do
Right.
that. Once you stop doing that, reapply, and
yeah.
you might
and
might
you have
be-
the opportunity to have a chance to win.
right. You have exactly. That's
Also,
exactly
he's got
right.
like some barnacle fungus shit going on his toes.
There's nothing
Like,
wrong with that. I mean,
take
that
care of
is what it
Sometimes
is.
you can't
Yeah.
help that.
Yeah.
There's probably some eranthal or some shit for that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I know that
I
he,
think he could
he
fix it.
sleeps in his saltwater aquarium.
Oh,
like
well.
a vampire.
I misspoke.
Yeah.
I'm totally misstepped. I
Yeah.
apologize, Walter.
So that's
Yeah.
probably part of the barnacles.
Yeah.
Then we have Campbell Osteen.
Did we do that before?
That's Campbell.
Yeah,
He did.
Campbell.
Yep.
That's like
Did
the
they
fat
win
chicks,
some?
because the fat chicks
Yeah.
crossing the
Oh,
grass.
yeah.
that's right. Why is
Yeah.
Campbell Osteen on the list twice?
I don't know.
No, that's why.
Yeah.
That's your problem, Campbell Osteen.
We caught you
You're
crawling across the grass.
We caught you
You're
trying
back.
to crawl across the grass right now.
You're
You're on
being
the
caught,
list
yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
You've been
Yeah.
caught.
That's the ugly girl trap.
Yeah,
Campbell.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you just need to fucking back off a little bit, Campbell Osteen.
No, I don't think it was Campbell Osteen. It was something Campbell. It was
It
John.
might
It,
be.
was like something Campbell. That's a different one. Campbell
Was it?
Osteen's different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the,
But that's
the
neither here
ugly-
nor there.
No, it was Campbell Osteen.
Was it?
Yeah.
the ugly.
So they
the
must
ugly
have
Jewish
quit.
fat girl.
They must have quit and came back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
That's
I think
hard.
it was something else like John Campbell or something.
No, it was Campbell
John
Osteen. It's
Campbell.
right
He's got
here.
it. He's got
It's
it.
right
Really?
here. I'm looking right at it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean,
So the problem is,
we've done went over this twice now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. Yeah.
and then finally,
She has low self esteem.
that's true. Yeah.
That's the problem.
And then finally,
She
we
should
have
too.
Steve
She's an ugly
Mink.
Jewish fat girl. She's trying to crawl across the grass. Sorry.
Steve Mink is the last one.
Rat's face.
Yeah. Steve Meek.
I didn't
Yeah,
see his
saying-
application.
yeah.
What did his application say?
Well, right at the top where it
said-
says name, he put
2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, thumb on the mink.
yeah, and that if you don't know your own name,
Yeah, we only got the name because of the credit card that they used.
yes.
Otherwise, it was like this nonsense that he wrote.
It's the Shocker Deluxe with
So,
the thumb on the mink.
and that's not your name,
Yeah.
and that's not even especially cool.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah, we need
was why.
we need truths
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
So being part of this application is being honest and
Right.
open.
Yes.
and vulnerable. Yeah. I mean,
we like to see vulnerability.
Yeah, we open the nest up to you.
Yep.
And so it's very important that you
play fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Play fair.
He calls himself the Mink Panther.
Really?
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know all his nicknames.
Yeah, he put all of them on the application, even though there's no room on the application for nicknames.
And the problem is,
he was writing them all in the margin.
problem is that he was giving the nicknames, and you don't get to pick your own nicknames.
Doesn't work that way.
Minky in the brain doesn't work, bro.
Nope.
Not going to do it.
Nope.
So
Monsters Mink.
Maybe clean that
thank
up.
all of you for your support. Reapply based on the notes we've given you. Hopefully we've helped you. Next week or two until the month is done, we're going to go over some other applications that were close and just let you know if you tweak this and you tweak that, you would definitely be in the running.
Yes.
So hopefully that helps some of you.
If you're on Reddit, go to r/Sofa King Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are at Sofa King Podcast. Personal Instagrams, I'm at Raised with Wolves. I have Sofa King Brent and Sofa King Dave. Also check out _Hot Sauce, Jimmy D's Teas, and Podbelly. Facebook, SofaKingPodcast.com/shop and Patreon.com/Sofa King Podcast to support the show. And most importantly, don't be retarded.